everyone, this video is going to get you started in PowerTeacher Pro if you haven't already. During this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between traditional and standards reference grading. Take a look into the global tabs. I'll show you how to add some categories, and the bread and butter of PowerTeacher Pro, where you'll be doing all your grading, is adding and scoring assignments. Our elementary schools are on the standards reference grading system, whereas the secondary schools are on that traditional grading system, A, B, C, D, F. Our elementary schools, again, like I just said, are on the standards reference grading system. Students are assigned levels of proficiency based on a 4, 3, 2, 1 scoring system. What you're seeing on the left-hand side of the screen is a good description for assigning levels of proficiency. Let me give you a second to read through the descriptions for 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Remember that the standards are end of the year standards. Students have all year to demonstrate and provide evidence for proficiency. A good rule of thumb for standards reference grading is to have at least 3 pieces of evidence before assigning a level of proficiency. All teachers report on a quarterly system, October 10th, January 5th, March 6th, and May 21st. General education teachers, those teachers of record in PowerSchool, are required to report grades. Special education teachers may or may not report grades. However, all special education teachers complete progress reports. Let's get into PowerTeacher Pro and check out the platform. Okay, here I am in PowerTeacher. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. You'll know whether you're a teacher of record because you'll have classes assigned to you in PowerSchool. In order to get into the grading portion of PowerSchool, you'll want to click into this tab in the upper left-hand corner, PowerTeacher Pro. And here's what it looks like when you get in there. Notice at the top, when you click into this drop-down, all your courses are here. You'll also want to make sure that you are in quarter 1, because right now, all teachers are assigning levels of proficiency for quarter 1. So those 2 pieces are super important, because when you create assignments, you always want to make sure that you're creating them in the correct course, as well as you want to create them in the correct quarter. So if you look over here to the left, these are the global tabs. By clicking into this grading tab here on the left-hand side, you can get a list of your assignments. The score sheet is a good place to assign those levels of proficiency. You'll notice by clicking to the categories button, PowerSchool defaults, or PowerTeacher Pro, defaults to 4 different categories on which you will create your assignments. Let's say you wanted to create an additional category, you could. For example, let's say you wanted to have a category that was for participation. By clicking into this plus button and clicking category, you can definitely create a participation category. You can assign it a different color. Let's assign participation green. You can give it a little description. You can select the classes on which that participation category refers to. So just know that you have some flexibility in the categories. The default is classwork, project, quiz, and tests, but I added that participation. Going back to that grading tab, notice that you have some different tabs here on the left-hand side. For elementary, again, it's standards reference grading. So this is another place where you can assign levels of proficiency. The students global tab on the left-hand side gives you an opportunity to drill down to specific students. Let's say you needed to just look into one specific student. This is a good place to drill down to get data or information on specific students. The progress tab on the left-hand side will give you some progress on how students are what progress students are making towards standards. The reports tab, there's tons of different reports you can create. I urge you to check out that tab whenever you have a chance. And where I'm going with the global tab is the settings tab. Know that you can tailor your view to whatever way you want it to look. If you go into display settings, I do recommend that you have the show standards pages checked, excuse me, or as well as show standards on assignments clicked. A lot of times Power Teacher Pro defaults to show traditional grades. You know, notice that I unclick that. So please do go through your settings and tailor that in a way that's going to be most efficient for you. You can also, by clicking into the class descriptions, you can assign different classes, different names to make you more efficient when you're coming in and out of Power Teacher Pro. You can also check out the settings for standards grade calculations. I'll be talking a little bit more about that in my next video today. This particular video is just to kind of get you started in Power Teacher Pro. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to create an assignment. You'll notice here that I have the math class selected at the top. I'm going to go into the plus button, which is the most efficient way to create your assignments, and I'm going to click into assignment. Okay, I'm going to double check to make sure that I'm in the right class. So I'm in the math, perfect. And then I'm going to give this assignment a name. Let's say we're going to name it lesson 4. Let's just say I'm going to select a category for this particular assignment. I'm going to go ahead and click quiz, and I'm going to give it a due date. I think I'm going to have it due on Friday, tomorrow. Okay, now, and the score type, this is, again, standards reference grading. So you're typically not going to input points or percents or letter grades. You're going to be inputting that level of proficiency, 43210. So using the collected only feature works pretty good with standards reference grading. So that's my recommendation. You'll want to unclick or click whether you want it to count in the final grade. I'm going to unclick that guy. And then I want to bring your attention back up to these tabs at the top. Know that when you create an assignment, typically the assignment applies to all students, but you can, if you want to, assign it to specific students. By clicking into the standards tab, you have that opportunity to select the standards of which this assignment applies to. For my purposes, I'm just going to click a couple, but I'm sure when you're creating your assignments, you're going to be way more articulate when you're picking out your standards. And then the publishing feature defaults to immediately, but you can, if you want to, set yourself up for success by creating assignments in advance and choosing specific dates on which you want them to publish. So I think we're all ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to go ahead now and click Save and Close. It tells me that I've created the assignment successfully, and then I can just score the assignment right from here. And that's perfect. I think that's what I'll go ahead and do. I'm going to click into lesson 4, and there are the standards that I selected, and I can now go ahead and assign levels of proficiency. When you click into these boxes here, there's this black box on the right-hand side that gives you some additional features. You'll notice that only the 1, 2, 3, 4 is available when you're doing standards reference grading. Let's say you're going to give everybody a 2 on this. Let's just say you can click 2, and then there's some fill features down here. Let's say it's the beginning of the year and you're working towards proficiency on an assignment, everybody's just going to get a 2. Then you can click this fill feature that will allow, which will fill all the rest of the grades. This fill feature works for vertical or horizontal grading. So just know that that's a feature there for you. Okay. I think that's it for now in Power Teacher Pro. I'm going to go back to my slide deck because the district recommendation is that you get into your Power Teacher Pro at least once a week to update student progress. Students and parents need weekly information on how they're doing. In the secondary world, grades determine eligibility for participation in sports, so it's super important that students have a dipstick on how they are doing in your class. And that goes for elementary as well. Fair to a student if you input all your grades right before the end of the quarter and then all of a sudden they're not eligible to play a sport. Right now, start thinking about how you want to set up your grading system and start collecting evidence towards level of proficiency ratings and or grades.